Hello, and welcome to the Not Special Show, episode number 21, I think now. I've talked about it a lot, but not for some reason, because I saw a video of somebody talking about, when you get into podcasting or doing anything creative, you got to keep going, and it's a marathon and not a sprint, and all of that stuff. But he put out some stats that something like 85% of podcasts fail before at the 20 episode mark. So episode number 21, I made it. Although TBH, sometimes the resistance, if you've read one of the books that I recommended, The War of Art, the resistance gets in my brain. It tells me to just stop doing it, but I'm not going to listen, because that's not what we're about. So, as you can tell, my Luka jersey, scored like 73 points. That's insane. But it was like 75 degrees today here in Texas. So I've been outside for the past 2 days. I think I've been inside, other than to sleep, a total of maybe 2 hours. So yeah, we've just been outside. Our biggest one had a little stomach bug, but today we're back. Went on a long walk with the kids, and I went on like 2 separate walks myself, just being outside, read outside, wrote outside. It's awesome. I have a 5-minute journal, which if you don't, it's great. It's a great way to be into journaling, get into journaling, but it asks you every day, what are 3 things that would make today great? And almost every day for me is writing outside. I've really been enjoying that, and being able to look up at the sky, being able to feel the sun's energy, see nature around me. Is it hippie? Yeah, probably, but it's true. Being outside, dude, like I'm only talking to a dude. Last week here, it was cloudy and rainy and cold, and our whole family felt just blah and run down, and we took naps. But we're back this week. We every morning we go outside and we just put our face to the sun and just, please, just get in my body, son. So yeah, I busted out the Luka jersey. I've only ever worn this in Miami, so first time here. But today's episode is our second installment of what I'm talking about in therapy. And this, you get like a twofer. So we just started going to a couples therapist. I'm sure Jen won't mind me saying that, but nothing is wrong. Absolutely nothing. But we described it as we're like running like a NASCAR race. And what do NASCARs have to do? They're going super fast and they're awesome, but you got to make a pit stop every once in a while just to make sure everything's good, change some tires, do all that stuff. So yeah, we just found this guy, and it's awesome, and it's in this old Victorian house. So yeah, I don't think going to couples therapy is a bad thing, although I did think that for a little while, and it took a conversation of Jen, my wife, telling me that it's not, that it's okay, and I was a little baby and needed to be reassured that our marriage was more than okay, and our marriage was perfect and loving and all of that, and this was just a check-in on stuff. So we'll start there. Something we both learned from our session in therapy, and that is that we process things that's going on, maybe small little frustrations or whatever, differently. We're obviously different people, but she's an Enneagram 8, I'm an Enneagram 5, and so as a 5, knowledge and information is like my go-to. I love it. I'm a very laid-back person. Nothing I see, everything is going to be okay, and yeah, everything's going to be okay. I don't sweat the small stuff, at least I try not to. And so when small frustrations happen, like stepping on a Lego or having to pick up whatever, Jen's shoes or whatever, those small, doing the dishes, stuff like that, small stuff, it takes more energy for me to say that stuff out loud instead of, like, it's so easy for me to just hold that in, let myself process it, however long that takes, a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, get it out, and I'm done. But when your partner is trying, it wants you to express yourself more and tell them all the frustrations that you may have with them, give them feedback, that can be a block because that stuff technically doesn't matter in my brain. I just need some time and space to process it and clear it out and make sure that it doesn't matter. Come up with doesn't matter or not on my own instead of everything matters. We got to talk about every single thing. On the flip side of that, it takes up more energy for Jen and most Enneagram 8s probably to hold that in, hold all those things in and process things internally. Their default, and it is very natural for them to process stuff out loud. Hence the let's talk about every single thing that maybe we're bothered by, or stepping on Legos, picking up trash, all just whatever small stuff of life, fill in the blank for yourself. And so we learned that, and now we can respect each other's outlook on stuff a little bit easier by recognizing, hey, she doesn't need a response from every little thing that she says. Sometimes it's just, they just need to get it out. On the flip side, I don't need to say every little thing that I'm thinking because I just need the space to process it and get it out, and boom, we're good. And it was such a good moment for me because my daughter has a lot of that. My oldest daughter, she loves to just tell me stuff and talk to me, and which is awesome. I love it. Sometimes I don't know what response, if any, she needs from me. Like, she'll just tell me facts that she learned from a book she read or a podcast that she listened to or stuff that she remembers in memory. And I learned that it's not because she needs a response from me. She just wants to say it, to get it out of her brain. And so I was joking around and texted Jen last week that my 3 most used words throughout the day, because I'm a stay-at-home dad, I homeschool, my 3 biggest words are, wow, that's cool. Yeah. And that's it. And I was feeling some type of way about it for maybe the past month or so. I'm like, man, should I feel bad that I'm not saying anything else and diving deeper into that conversation? No, you shouldn't feel bad at all. The fact that they know that you're listening and that they just said it out loud is all that a lot of the times people need. You just have to know them on a level to kind of know and maybe have a conversation with them what they need from you. And so that's helped me tremendously, recognizing that it's not necessarily a full conversation that's needed every single time that my partner talks out loud about something or my kids talk out loud about something. It can just be an acknowledgement that I heard it, and that's it. And that helped me because I was like, man, why does everything have to be this big conversation? That I was the one making everything a big conversation, thinking that everything needed a conversation when it didn't. I just needed an acknowledgement that I was listening. And so that's something I'm going to continue to work on and not kind of get sucked into the belief that a full conversation needs to be had. Now we'll jump to, God, ever heard of a duster, bro? The next thing we'll talk about is what I've been talking about with my personal therapist, which I see every week. And this has kind of just been a full arc. If you remember last time, we talked about the 4 kind of principles of living a fulfilled life. Show up, be present, listen to the Spirit or the universe, whatever you want to call it, and then release the outcomes. And that has been something that I don't even really have to think about now. It is just in my brain of just be present. Whatever happens, happens. That's what I think of as release the outcomes. And we talked about that from a creative standpoint. Whenever you create something, it's almost for you to get out that idea that you had in your head and just push it out, and whatever happens, happens. And I'm thankful that I'm in a space where I don't have to sell my art, and my family is not relying on that, so I get it. So yeah, now another underlying thing that we've kind of talked about a lot that I think about, and it's helped me have better relationships and grow in myself, and that is talking in conversation or in relationships as an adult and an adult. Because I've learned that growing up as a kid, it's an adult talking, not necessarily down, but we'll say just an adult talking to you, and a kid trying to talk up to an adult is much harder. So, just like any other kid, adult to child relationship and conversations, and I have struggled. Struggle is such a, wonder what I could say differently. I have not realized in my adult life that sometimes I let relationships carry that on, and I've stayed in the child role and let other actual adults talk to me as an actual adult, but as a child. And I see myself a lot when maybe it's a new relationship and I am just the one asking questions and letting people just talk to me about stuff that I already know about, or taking direction from people, thinking that is just the rules and that is the gospel. So whatever they say goes, because I put myself back in that child role of being talked to by an adult, instead of raising myself up, having the confidence to have an adult to adult conversation. Just that realization has helped me so much in my relationships with my wife, with my parents, with my friends, with new friends, because I am an adult and my opinion does matter, and I do know a lot of stuff, and things that adults say to me doesn't mean that is just what I have to do. Other adults telling me to do stuff is a suggestion and it's their opinion, but it doesn't mean that I have to do that. And so I know you're probably thinking, that's so simple and you just didn't grow up. Well, kind of, yeah. In my relationship, I mean, I did a little stint in college and then went into the Army, where it's the ultimate not adult to adult conversation and relationship. You're down here and you're just getting told what to do and when to do it and how to do it on a daily basis. So, yep, I got out when I was 26. And so I still just carried that on and thought that that's how adult relationships worked, is that somebody got chosen as the leader and that leader told the other people in person what to do. So, yeah, that's it. But that's not it, and that's not how healthy adult relationships work. And so I found myself growing in that confidence, and that works perfectly because in Enneagram 5, like I said, we like to gather information and sometimes withhold that information because maybe I'm nervous how that information is going to be received or going to be used or not used. And so that has been an add-on to the realization that we are adults, and I'm in an adult relationship, an adult conversation, and my opinion matters, and I need to be giving my opinion and my knowledge out more in relationships. Yeah. So that's what I've been working on in therapy. Excuse me. Seeing myself and gaining confidence in relationships, adult to adult, not adult to child. And sometimes when we're fighting or arguing with a loved one, we can get where we want to be now up here, and we want to be the adult talking down to the kid because we feel kind of jinxed or feel some type of way about being talked down to, and it's really just us that's not having the confidence to just be an adult. So yeah, as a 38-year-old man, I realized that somebody had to tell me that, hey, we are adults and we can talk to other adults that way. What else? Let's see. Oh my gosh. I didn't want to have to do it, but Atmos Energy, you are absolutely horrible. We got a gas bill at our house for 10 times the amount that we normally, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, a $500 gas bill in our house that's not a mansion at all. It is just a house, and our normal gas bill is like $150, but for reasons that I got explained to me by the Atmos person that came out, it was $500 in January. And they said that, well, first of all, I smell a little bit of gas. Wink, wink. And so I called the emergency line. They came out because for real, I was like, there must be some gas leak or leaks around our house. So we need to get somebody to check on it. That was an awfully loud noise in my ear. We need to get somebody to check on it and make sure there's actually no gas leaks, because there's no way that our usage has gone up. What's the 5 multiple? So they come out, he's running his little thing all around, checking our pressure, checking our hot water heater and our fireplace and our stove, and nothing, no leaks around, outside, inside. And so I asked him, like, dude, first of all, this dude had a big old fat dip in his mouth, so I knew I could just talk to him like a bro. He said, man, it was super cold last month, and your furnace is gas, and that thing doesn't regulate the amount of gas comes in. It's just like turning on a valve all the way. So it was trying to warm your house probably for hours at a time. It just be like that. So it just be like that apparently. And if you didn't know, in Texas, Atmos is the only natural gas provider. So there's no competition. How is that even legal and possible that I can't just be like, oh, I'm not happy with your rates, I'm going to go shop it around? You can't. Thank you, Texas. You can't. But yeah, apparently in our neighborhood, that is a very big thing right now. And some people did have small little gas leaks, which explains their higher bills. I don't have that luxury. Just got to pay $500. Sorry about it. That's what the dude said. Just sorry about it. Yeah. I have been tearing through books. I read this book. I read this book, actually. How to Change Your Mind by Michael Pollan. What the New Science of Psychedelics Teaches Us About Consciousness, Dying, Addiction, Depression, and Transcendence. I won't get into it because that's like an hour-long rant that I will get into at some point about psychedelics. But after reading that behemoth of a book, which reads at times like a science book and at other times just like a journal, which is cool, a trip guide, if you will. But I had read 3 other nonfiction books prior to that, so my mind was ready for like a nice little reset. So I went to my just all-time favorite author, I think, Brad Thor, and read just a Brad Thor novel. I've been reading Brad Thor novels for 12 years now. I've read every single one of his novels. It's a whole series, a Scott Harvath series. Yeah, Brad Thor's the shit, man. I know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's like comfort for me when I just need something in the background. This is going to be awesome. This is like wartime thriller stuff. I'll just reach for the latest Brad Thor novel. I actually met him, and he could not stop talking about my tattoos. So if you're hearing this, Brad, I've been trying to send you my book because you have inspired me to write in a weird way, because your books give me so much comfort. I actually read my first Brad Thor novel. I picked it up from Target, I think, or maybe even like a Tom Thumb, while I was staying at my parents' before I shipped out to Germany from Dallas after basic training. I picked it up and I read the entire thing on the flight. And then in Germany, when I was there, Amazon would ship to an APO, which is the Army Post Office there. But a lot of the times I could get the Brad Thor novel at the library there and keep up with them that way. They would get them as soon as they came out. Or the little shopette across the street, which if you know, you know. But it's in my book. We had a shopette, which is just the basically equivalent of a convenience store right across the street from my barracks. Like, you could walk over there with your eyes closed. And they had a little book section, which was crazy. And I would get the latest Brad Thor novel there and go up to my room and just devour that thing in like a day. No big deal. That shopette was crazy, though. Now that I think about it, when I say that there was a book section, so you walked in, and it was like a regular convenience store. They had all the drinks and the snacks and the little alcohol right in front of you, hard liquor, of course, beer in the back, and then the rest for, normal non-addict stuff, energy drinks, big time cooler over there. And then checkout line separated on the left side. It was like a little mini Walmart almost, actually. It had all the stuff you needed for barracks, sheets and pillows and oil, and you could rent DVDs there. I just remembered that. Damn, it was like a little video store too, and they had books and magazines. That shopette was the shit, dude. You get yourself a Tornado, and then you could, this is crazy, you could replenish your prepaid minutes on your burner phone, because for some reason, I guess for some reason, this was 2010 through whenever I got out, the big cell phone contracts weren't like a huge thing over in Germany yet. Maybe they were if you just lived there full time, but most of us had little burner phones that we had prepaid minutes on. I ended up maybe the last year and a half with a quad band BlackBerry that I could text back to the States on, but it would use my prepaid minutes, obviously, but I'd do it. And man, I wish I had that BlackBerry still. I would love to just be able to text and call. It'd be sweet. But dude, yeah, Brad Thor novel. So I got to read that psychedelic book, science book, basically. Just needed a break, so I blasted through that Brad Thor novel, the latest one, in 2 hours. And it's funny, it's like Law and Order episodes where they say at the beginning, this episode is not based on an actual person or events. Wink, wink, and you know exactly who they're basing that show on. It's the same with his novels recently, where, he doesn't even hide it, but it's the Ukraine-Russia war, but with a little twist, and the bad guys in this instance are like a break-off unit of the Wagner group, and they steal art and do not nice things to people. Scott Harvath comes in with his team of Ukrainian soldiers and just hunts them down, kills them all. Done. Easy. Yeah. So my brain needs that sometimes, and I already jumped into a Jedediah Jenkins book where he bikes from Oregon all the way down to Patagonia. It's cool. I've been reading a lot of adventure books. recently. I was just looking up and seeing how many I've been through. But yeah, I'll probably be ready for another fiction of some sort. I put some classics on my list this year. I want to try to find The Lonesome Dove from an antique store, because I can see it in my head. All these like antique stores have a little book section, and it's like, or a garage sale, like a grandma garage sale, a Lonesome Dove edition for like 20 cents. I want to do that. I don't want to give Amazon money. So that's it. What I learned from therapy, what I've been talking about in therapy today. You got the couples edition on how your partner may process things differently. And so respecting that and knowing that about them will, I think, get us out of a lot of just unnecessary little tiffs and fights. And then adult to adult conversations and relationships, not seeing yourself as a child anymore, knowing that your opinion and your thoughts matter. So say them if you want, but don't think that you're getting talked down to because you're not. And then, yeah, that's it. Dude, I don't have my phone on me. My brother sent me this awesome, like, chanting music. It sounded so awesome. I love when he sends me stuff. So if you're listening, big brother, keep sending me music. But I'll find that for you guys. And that's it. Keep tuning in, subscribe, like this, send it to people, read my book, get it, leave a review. That's it. Bye-bye.